Good day. Normally, I wait a little closer to the weekend to talk, and it's just after 9. And I got others. Normally, this is my study time. Challenging. Let me vent. Okay. There's a series of people that have influence for me. Many of them I know in person. Some of them I've adopted online. One particularly elderly fellow that I've been a long time listening to. All right, and I'm not calling his name. I'm not calling his, and I know that's chatty patty not to call his name because the idea is not to publicly disagree with him or publicly talk shit about him because I do have respect for him. That's not my way, but there's a chance I could go left. Um, on one hand, he states we shouldn't really be arguing with each other over the internet, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly agree that we shouldn't be arguing with each other over the internet. And in the next series of videos while teaching, he'll go left and degrade somebody for asking what he would deem a stupid question or making a stupid comment, and just go left on him. And he's a vegan, which is fine. Yeah, I would expect more positive energy from a vegan since the whole vegan scene is supposed to be, about balance and being in balance with nature. So for you to be so very angry on the internet or easily triggered to the point where you're cussing people out, it's interesting to me to say the least. He'll also make statements like, I'm the elder, it's my time to talk. You know, the, the people who come before me, they dead, is what I say now, this, that, the third. It's very much into his ego. Well, Mike, if you feel that way, why do you listen? Because I have to navigate through that nonsense to get the jewels that he will eventually talk about, and I know that. So, you know, I, I will tolerate a lot of the left talk, even though it's never really directed at me, um, or I don't take it directed at me personally. Okay, and watching one of his videos, he's talking about explaining how older people are not really on the internet. Older people on the internet, so they don't have a lot of the information that a lot of us are talking about, and that we are just as programmed as the people we would be claiming to try to wake up. That was the first time I felt a little triggered, like maybe he was talking to me, even though I know he doesn't know who I am. What I would say to that is, it doesn't matter whether you're on the internet or not. Somebody is on the internet. Okay, you older people, you worked hard, you provided for your families, you protected your children, and if you are, like he said, over 60 and above, in many cases, don't really have an internet presence, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, to pass information at the high rate of speed that information is being passed today. He he's right about that. But somebody in that family has access to that. And just like those older people protected the younger people when they were working, before they were retired, paying off mortgages, don't sidebar mortgages, stay focused, Mike, etc. It's now the younger people's responsibility to pass on information to the older people in their families so that they can compare the non existent world of the internet and the information that's there that is relevant in many cases to the real life experiences of people who are older who lived through a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? I disagree that if they're not on the internet and all they do is go home and watch their shows, that they're not programmed. I disagree. And it's okay to disagree. We can disagree to disagree. And although I can provide you with 100,000 different examples, I'm only going to provide you with one very recent example. The link will be in the description. You can stop the video now, look at the link, and then come back to the rest of this, because I want you to have the frame of reference of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about MK Ultra mind control programming through your tell lie vision. It's the reason why they call it television. It's just not a word they made up. Tell lie vision. It's not a coincidence. Okay, it's a tool for programming. Just like these phones are a tool for tracking and a tool for predictive behavior and establishing trends, your whereabouts, and who you talk to. Every text message recorded, every phone conversation heard, trigger words activated based on certain words that you might say for tech to review later on. Computer picks it up, tech has to review it. All that's true, all right? All that's true. We share information. We don't always get it right, but we share information. That's what we do. And we don't share information just with black people. We don't share information. We share information with anybody who's on that vibration, who's on that frequency or close enough to the frequency. And the people who are close enough to the frequency, they're tasked with sharing the information with those who are not on the frequency so they can have a choice. A choice. It's not about telling anybody what to do. It's just about so they can have a choice, an informed choice. Informed. Sleep. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. We're all sleep. We're all scratching and crawling to get to some kind of awareness beyond the prison of this 24-hour cycle we call time. We're all on our individual journey, but everything is connected. Everything is connected. Mind control. The news puts out $3.5 trillion spending that's being proposed, and they're telling us it's going to cost nothing. That's how sleep the opposition thinks you are. That they can look you in the face and tell you that their goal is to get something passed so they can spend $3.5 trillion, but don't worry because it's paid for. If you fall for that, that's crazy. And this video is not about the $3.5 trillion. This video is about the one example of how just watching your regular shows, the old people who don't have access to the internet, who are not getting the information that we're all talking about, so they're not programmed because all they're doing is going home and watching their shows. Well, here's an example of what's going on late night TV on their shows. Just one example. You are programmed. Because you were the same guy when this whole thing hit that was coming on camera doing your lives in a room by yourself wearing a mask, breathing your own carbon dioxide, talking about you a vegan, and everybody's eating dead animals. Okay? It's our time. How about that? It's our time. Because everything that we were right about, you never came back and said, "Oh, you know what? You know, I was on TV, I was on this YouTube with the mask on, and it turned out that COVID is man-made." It turned out that that's true. I didn't know it at the time. People were telling me at the time, but it turned out to be true. It's called gain of function. It's called gain of function, and they were doing gain of function research in Wuhan gain of combining viruses. They were doing it in Wuhan with taxpayer money, and that's where the outbreak happened. All the places on the earth, this pandemic, plandemic, scamdemic could have happened. It happened in the one place where they're doing what's called gain of function research. And gain of function research, if you not know what it is combining animal viruses so they can and merging them with human so they could manifest in humans. I mean, look it up. If you're not familiar with gain of function, look it up. It's so well known amongst people like us that they had to address it on TV. You think they wanted to put that out on TV? No. No. They put it out, and then they rocking you back to sleep. And while they rocking you back to sleep, they're squeezing you like a boa constrictor. In New York, maybe I'll put that link in the description too. Lady walks in to buy Burger King, and I get it. It's fast food. We shouldn't be eating that. I call it Murder King. I get it. But the sign on the window, on the plexiglass window where the customers come in says, if you don't show a vaccine card, you can't get served food to go. All right? At some point, y'all gonna have to make a choice. You just do. I'm thankful that I wasn't disrespectful to the elder who is 13 years my senior. All right? Because that's not my intent. What I'm saying is it's our turn. It's out, and let me tell you why it's our turn. Because we are the bridge between the internet and before the internet. We're that bridge. We're versed in both worlds. The world you would call real and the internet world where you would call not real. You would call it not real, and you would call reality real. That's what you would call it. Isn't reality just 5 different interpretations of vibration? Sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch, all of those different ways of interpreting vibration. See, the internet's not real. Okay, I get it. It's running on electricity. What's electricity? Electricity is decaying light. That's another video. We're not going there. The more I learn, the more I realize what I don't know. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. You don't get smarter with more information. It seems like it. If you believe you are smart because of all of your years of experience and all the information that you've consumed, you're not getting it. You're not smarter. You think you're smarter. You're not. I'm not smarter. I don't even proclaim to think I'm smarter. I'm not. Because every fact that I learn opens up several more questions. Okay? So there's always a search. There's no finish line. There's always a search for information. And every once in a while, we don't get the complete understanding of a particular subject. But a lot of this crap we were on point on. A lot of it we were on point on. We were on point about a lot of stuff. We were on point about Haiti. We were on point about that. I ain't look it up. There's one person owns the contract to the gold in Haiti. One person. His last name is Rodham. The sibling of Hillary Rodham Clinton. We were on point about a lot of stuff. And vaccines were one of them. And it had nothing to do with any internet or YouTube videos. I mean, we gave you the book. We gave you the congressional record. We gave you the congressional record from '62 to go through to show how taxpayer money was used to create HIV and AIDS. We did that. We exposed the polio scam. You're talking about polio. We exposed the polio, the vaccine scam of polio. And we gave you the information. We gave you the documents to go to see it for yourself. We exposed that. And you talking about polio like you still buying the narrative because you lived through that time. I get it. You lived through that time. But even with all of your internet savvy and all of your historical and all precedent and all of the things that you studied before the internet, still things you're missing. Because there's still things we're missing. And the goal is to put stuff together. All right. So for somebody that's trying to, to promote veganism and get the dead bodies out of your freezers, you like to say, I would think you'd do a better. I would think you'd do a better job of not showing the savage side of you. Because if veganism makes you savage like that, what's the point of going vegan? I mean, I could be savage on dead animals. I can. And I could give you examples why I could be savage on dead animals. The Eskimos didn't get cancer until cooked food was introduced to them by Westerners. They were eating their fish raw. There's no fruits and vegetables growing up there. They were eating their fish and their seals raw. They had all of their teeth. They had a healthy gut biome. They had no diabetes, no cancer, none of that stuff. They've been eating like that for centuries. They didn't start getting sick until they started eating cooked foods, cooked Westerners foods. Facts. So nobody has all the answers. We either link up and share stuff we know and grow together, or you sit back and claim that fake gang life that you claiming in Chicago. All right. That's all I want to say about that. All right. Claiming to be a savage doesn't really look good on you. It just doesn't. You talking about working out. We working out. You talking about it. We're working out. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good day. Do better.